Oh, this is perfect. I can like rest my chin on this and take a nap.
Ooh, Iris Agate, not Irish, Iris. It's iridescent, kind of looks like an iris flower. All right, I'm unboxing, ready? 3, 2, 1. Ooh, dang, that is pretty. Ooh, maybe this will not be going back to JTV. Maybe this will be staying on my desk. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, so I'm gonna put this down and open up the next box. Wow, that's really pretty. Ooh, that's even, wow, this is so cool. Wowzers. Okay. Whoa. Well done. Oh man, I love these. These are so pretty. So agate is a type of chalcedony. You can see the banding here that is typical of agate. Iris agate you have to cut very thin. I think the patterns are always really cool and the different colors, the banding. It's neat. Can you see my hands? You can see my manicure through it. Isn't that cool? And you can see some like of the rough right there is that druzy. And then the side, it's obviously been polished. It's very smooth. It's cool to the touch. This would be a bigger piece and it's just cut into slices. And then I imagine it's, you know, polished and smoothed. Okay, so you can see this piece. I think this is neat. You can see the crystals right there and the banding. This is not as smooth right there, but you can see that, you know, these two are cut into slices. I actually, had you shown me these two pieces, I never would have guessed Iris agate. I've nenever heard of it being cut as a cabochon. I've only heard it cut as slices, so that's really neat. But you can see both of these are pretty cool. I like the banding on this one the best. So I saw a really cool print, and it was like a geode of agate. It was really cool. I almost purchased it for my living room, but I decided against it because I think I'm gonna get a specimen instead. You can see all the little, whoa, that is so cool. I can see all the little bands, that's neat. Agate is a variety of chalcedony. Iris agate is a type of agate. So we've talked about chalcedony here in the past. We'll pop up some links for you to see past videos. And Iris agate is also called rainbow agate. And that is because you can see iridescence and spectral colors when you shine the light through. Can you guys see that? There are several different types of agate, carnelian, onyx. Agate is just a name for a banded chalcedony, and you can see the banding right here. A lot of times in the field, you will see iris agate sold, but it's not actually iris agate. It's called iris agate because it's the same color as the iris flower. So just remember that if you're out at a trade show or if you're looking at agate, iris agate is known for these spectral colors. What's tough though about iris agate is you really don't know what you're getting until you cut it very, very thin and you shine a light source through. So I could have a big old chunk of agate and I can see the bands, the banding like you would with other types of agate, but you don't know if it's gonna exhibit iridescence, which is a phenomenon, unless you slice it very, very thin and you shine a light through it, which is kind of hard because, you know, if you have a piece of agate and it's really pretty, you don't just wanna slice it open. That could be a risk. It could not be iris agate, and then you just have these slices, and that may have been a stone that you would have wanted to use for another purpose. But iris agate it's valued by designers because of that iridescence. I think it's really neat. I haven't seen a ton of it in the field. I don't own any iris agate myself, but I definitely think it is gonna be on my list after this show. Fun fact, blue agate, which is not iris agate, blue agate is the state gem of Nebraska. I kind of like Nebraska because I grew up there. So I didn't, you know, learn too much about iris agate in the past. So I think it's neat to have it on the show and to be able to talk about something that I'm kind of recently passionate about. Iris agate is about a 6.5 to 7 on the Mohs scale. So you could use it in jewelry. Always be careful with your jewelry though, just because it's a little bit higher on the Mohs scale doesn't mean that it's not gonna take a beating. Another thing that's really cool, we've talked about fractures on this show in the past. A lot of gemologists, when they're taking their 20 stone or their practice 20 stone, they will learn about the different type of fractures, which is a great way to separate one stone from another. Iris agate exhibits a conchoidal fracture, so. You could cut this, but iris agate, you find it usually thinly sliced. So I suppose that if you wanted to, you could cut it as a cabochon, but the point of iris agate is that when you cut it thin, you can shine a light through it, and that's when you see those spectral colors. So, you know, it's valued by designers and jewelers. It's, you know, it's definitely a worthwhile piece to own in any collection. So Iris agate is prized by jewelers and collectors, but just because it's prized doesn't mean it's hard to find. You can actually find it in Florida, the great state of Texas, Idaho, Indonesia, and then 2 of my favorite places, Tennessee and Brazil. So that's cool. It's kind of a global stone, and maybe you'll find it in your own backyard. The chemical name for agate is silicon dioxide, so that's SiO2. We love chemistry, we love gemology, we love beautiful stones here on this channel. For those of you who like learning about crystal systems, this is a member of the trigonal crystal system, and if you want to learn more about crystal systems, Elizabeth and I did a video about the cubic crystal system. So other types of agate: fire, blue lace, picture agate, blue agate, iris agate, moss agate, dendritic agate, tons of types of agate. I'm gonna speculate and pretend I'm in the wild of Brazil, and I'm looking for gemstones. I speculate that you would find, you know, a big chunk of agate. You'd have to pull it out of the ground. And then, like we mentioned earlier, you wouldn't know that you had iris agate. You would have to, you know, find the agate, and then you would have to cut it into, you know, thinner slices, and then you would have to test out whether it's iris agate or not. You know, it could have, on the outside, look like a normal rock. You could find it in a mine. I haven't actually mined agate before. I haven't been in an agate mine, so maybe that's somewhere that we could take the episode. Maybe we could head down to Brazil and head to an agate mine. All right, guys, picture an inverted pyramid. At the top of the inverted pyramid, you have quartz, and then I think we'll call it a subset of quartz is chalcedony. A subset of chalcedony is agate, and a subset of agate is iris agate. So another famous type of quartz is amethyst. A very basic definition of iridescence is a rainbow-like effect when you shine light through the stone, and you can see those rainbow colors right there. It's a phenomenon. Other phenomenons would be play of color, color change, asterism, chatoyancy. And for those of you who are longtime fans of the show, you know exactly where to find the videos to learn more. Cool thing about agate is that it was formed in these nodules where there was volcanic activity, and that's why you get these really cool patterns and bands and spectral colors like an iris agate. All right, everyone, I want you to take a closer look at that banding and the different colors and how those bands are parallel and the different widths. I think this is a pretty cool piece. All right, guys, iris agate's pretty cool, but just remember there are other types of agate, like moss agate, dendritic agate, fire agate, and I'm gonna go look for some specimens so that we can have those on a future episode. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with another gray box and another awesome gemstone.